That game was yucky, icky, sloppy, frustrating, annoying.
It was so hard to watch that we've decided to do something even harder to watch.
We did the wave. Jacob did the
wave.
Thank you.
Grateful's audio
the
listeners.
wave.
You know, when the game gets tough, you gotta start doing the wave. That's us, but on the postgame
to distract. And here's another thing to distract you. Leah and I both wore white tonight.
I'm so sorry. This is
sorry for
not
the glare coming off. Here, let's smile.
This is not aesthetically pleasing.
That was a rough game.
Thank you all so much for tuning in to the PHNX Coyotes post-game show. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe wherever you get your podcast, leave us a 5-star review. I'm Leah here with Craig in studio wearing white.
Mm-hmm.
Jacob's behind the Mac wearing his PHNX hoodie, and Petey's at home wearing the same PHNX hoodie.
I'm comfy.
So the four of us are actually fully matching. Petey,
and
what?
Unfortunately, the mullet magician left early.
He only appears for home.
Yeah, home games. There's no magic in that game tonight.
There was no magic tonight.
So, Craig, I'm going to start with this. Did they skate yesterday before they left town?
No,
they did not.
Will they skate next time before they leave town? Yes, they will, because they stunk to start this game.
Probablement.
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember what the shots were in the first period, but they sucked.
It was
12-2.
They had 3 shots in the first period.
Yeah, it was 15-3, so they were not ready at the start. That tells me that's horrific. You can't come out and give up 3 shots. If it's a back-to-back, maybe. They're coming off a home win. You give them the day off the next day, and they jump on a plane and they get outshot 15-3 at home. And it's not like they're not playing the Boston Bruins. You know, you're playing St. Louis.
Couple things, and I don't want to make excuses. St. Louis has played better of late, and the Coyotes also just beat the hell out of St. Louis in this building a short time ago. So I figured that they would come with a better response. That said, even though the Blues had 7 power plays through the first 2 periods, most of them well-earned, maybe not all of them, but the disparity of 7-1 is a bit ridiculous in any NHL game.
7-2.
But 7-2 in the end. They got one in the third period, didn't they? It was 7-1 after 2 periods. We'll talk about that more in a moment. But in spite of all that, they're right there because the Blues power play is horrifically bad, historically bad. That 5-on-3 that they had, I know credit Tyson and Maddie for saying the Coyotes PK was terrific. It didn't have to be because the Blues power play was so bad. They were right there in this game. And again, like you said, even though I expected a response from the Blues, even though they had just beaten them badly in this building, St. Louis is not a good team. The Coyotes never sustained a forecheck. They never put pressure on what is one of the worst blue lines in the NHL, so they just couldn't get anything going. The power plays were a part of that, no doubt. When you're trying to kill penalties all the time, it kills your flow in a game. But even in that third period, it was just so sloppy and so frustrating to watch.
And you can't get into an offensive rhythm when you're spending that much time in the penalty box. And you get the one thing when you're killing 7 penalties, your penalty killers getting the ice time. It's not Clayton, Keller, and Nick Schmaltz getting on the ice. And now they sit on the bench for 2, 3, 4 minutes, not clock time, but real lifetime. And you're sitting on the bench too long. And then you tell me, and you can't get into that rhythm. This team. This team has a penalty problem. They're first in the National Hockey League in penalty minutes and penalties per game. They have to solve that because you cannot spend this much time in the penalty box. You can't. And I know the biggest offender is the guy that we talked about last season. I talked to Liam O'Brien about taking penalties, and Jack up in Montreal taking more, but he's second in the National Hockey League in penalties. He can't do that. He had half as many penalty minutes as he did time on ice. He had 4 penalty minutes and he had 8 minutes played.
I don't understand the penalty that he took. Chasing a guy up. You got to have more discipline than that.
Well, we don't know what happened, and I'd like to hear, Craig, because I texted both of you right away, like what precipitated that? Was there something that I missed?
He might have said something, but who cares? Have a little more discipline than that. Hopefully, Liam can work it all out in a blog post or something.
Yeah,
maybe he can write a poem
or maybe a song. And if you don't know what we're referencing, it's of course Craig's article up today at gophnx.com about a little bit more on Liam O'Brien. And when's the prospect report coming?
Sunday. Tomorrow will be a feature on Mikko Matiga because Denver's in town. Yeah. Sunday's the prospect report.
Got to be a diehard to read that one.
That's right. Julian Lutz, Mavlam, and Michael
Rabel.
There's some really good starts in there for these.
Yeah.
Bless you.
Thank you. I don't want to do this, but let's take a look at the numbers presented by Desert Financial Credit Union, Arizona's #1 credit union, named by Forbes. Shots on goal 33-20 in favor of St. Louis. And a lot of this had to do with the fact that the Coyotes spent 14 minutes on the penalty kill. Coyotes were actually at least 1 for 2 on their power play. Lawson Crouse with the lone goal. St. Louis, just a tragic 0 for 7. But I mean, it affected the Coyotes in other ways because the penalty minutes 14-4, just ridiculous. Shot attempts 59-42 in favor of St. Louis. And one extra bonus stat is that the Coyotes were 44% in the faceoff circle to the Blues 56. In the end,
much worse through the first 2 periods.
Way worse. It was like 36-64.
Yeah, it was 27. Oh, the attempts. Yeah, the shots on goal were 27-10 through 2.
No, we're talking about
the face-offs. And again, St. Louis didn't capitalize on it.
Keep talking. I'll catch up.
I don't like to focus on face-offs all the time because there are a lot of times where face-offs don't mean that much. But there were a lot of meaningful face-offs tonight through those first 2 periods. The Coyotes were not good at them. Somehow the Blues, again, didn't take advantage of all the advantages they had through those first 2 periods. This game was there. This is the kind of game where you at least get a point. You find a way to steal a point, but they just couldn't sustain anything in the offensive zone. The passing was bad. Some of the guys that we've seen play really well, like I thought Matias Michelli had an off night tonight. They just didn't get anything sustained tonight. It was a really frustrating game. And like you said, Petey, they didn't skate. They're coming off a win. You think, okay, he's giving them a cookie, right? You don't have to practice tomorrow. Well, what'd you do with that little honor that your coach handed you? You didn't deliver. So now you're back at 500 again. You're on the road for 4 more games. You're going to have to find a way to eke out a couple wins on this road trip. This was a good opportunity against, again, a team that they've played historically really well against in this building. Clayton, Keller, and Nick Schmaltz have been lights out against this team. You had an opportunity to really get off on a good foot and maybe start to build a little daylight between yourselves and that 500 mark, but they're just up, down, up, down, up, down. They've won 2 games in a row once this season. They've lost 2 games in a row once this season. It's just they're back and forth. They're like
hugging the 500 line.
They look like the epitome of a 500 hockey team.
Yeah, and the thing is, you look at this game, when they start the 5-on-3 in that first period for an extended period, nearly 2 minutes, you go, okay, this game's over. I felt it because they had just scored, and you go, okay, they can put this game away, and this is going to be horrifically bad. And I didn't like that call on Dumba. We talked about a lot of penalties. I didn't like the call on Dumba. I didn't think that was that bad of it, but I don't know if it was a whatever. Yeah. But they kill that off, and you go, oh my goodness. And through 2 periods, you go, they're getting their ass kicked. They're getting outshot. They're getting outplayed. They're in the penalty box all night. They have no offense at all. It's 2-1.
Yep.
And to your point, Craig, that last 2 minutes, when they pull the goalie, you go, okay, St. Louis should have scored 3 times on an empty net, but they don't. And you're right. This is exactly those type of games that you go, they're outshot, outplayed, out everything, and they almost get a point out of it. And the player you mentioned that didn't have it tonight was Michelli. Had the puck on his stick 3 times in that last minute with opportunities to either distribute it or get it to the net. And he just couldn't find a way to make it happen. And you're right. Hanging on was great. I'm surprised they were able to get to the point where you're pulling your goalie in this game. That's great. But it's another fear of this team's inability to create offense. And I hope that's something that they there's games you get like Chicago where they get 8, and you get one tonight where they just couldn't get the offensive game going at all.
Yeah, there were so many times in this game that Craig said, like, where's the, like, you almost just didn't see the effort, the fight, the push. And we've seen that from this team this season. Mm-hmm. We have. And you just felt like you didn't see it. And I think that was the most frustrating part, because it wasn't like they were snake bitten and they had like the Blues goaltender stole the game from them or anything like that. It wasn't. They did this to themselves. Like they truly have no one else to blame but themselves. And in fact, they're lucky that the St. Louis Blues have the 32nd power play in the National Hockey League.
They scored one power play goal all season. They're clicking around 3% on the power play.
Tonight made it worse for them with seven opportunities with no goals. They're so lucky that the Blues are 32nd because this could have been horrific.
Yeah, it could have been really bad. And Harold brought up a point that we started talking about the P word, and I had to think about that because we have. And I think, Harold, in our defense, we sat through two horrific seasons. And when this team, we get to watch them play and get a few wins, we kind of got a little excited. I still believe it can happen. I still do. I still think that middle pack in the Western Conference is going to be, I don't think it's going to take 95 points this year. Craig, I think it's going to be a lot less than 95. I think there's going to be a battle for that middle core because people just aren't pulling away. So, not giving up on them yet. But this team does have to find a way to get it together. The things that this team did last year, they're not doing this year. They're not playing hard in third periods. They're not playing hard. They're not having their feet moving for 60 minutes. The little things that this team was hard to play against, I haven't seen often enough out of this first 13 games.
You gotta go into Nashville with a much better effort, but now I think a win because the next game after that's Dallas, and I don't like the Coyotes matchup with the Dallas Stars at all. You could be looking at a 3-game losing streak, and then you start getting yourself in trouble.
Yeah, and that you can't do that, especially at this time of year. And I thought when we looked at the calendar, we said coming into this road trip, we said these next two were the two that I thought you could get points out of. Dallas is incredibly difficult. And you know what? It's probably very likely you'll see Scott Wedgwood in that game. And Wedgie plays good against this team. And we're going to give Wedgie Veggie. I wouldn't be surprised if we get Wedgie Veggie at all. And I guess you never know. But this team has to go into Nashville ready to play. And unfortunately, it's Friday night in Nashville. And I hope they can stay focused. I hope this team stays focused because they need a better effort, and especially right off the draw. So that's what we got to look for. That first 5 minutes, that first 5-minute push on the road in that game in Nashville is going to be incredibly important, not just for the entirety of the game, but it sets the tone for the road trip. They need to start this next game really well.
Yeah, and extending this out even farther, after the Nashville game and the Dallas game, they do get a couple of maybe winnable games in Columbus and Winnipeg. But the end of this month, 4 of their final 5 games are against LA, Vegas, Tampa, and Colorado. So you got some really tough teams coming down the road. You need to stick just around that 500 mark or probably a little bit above it as you hit the end of this month because you're starting to play some really elite teams.
Yeah, that's yuck.
Yeah.
Another nugget, and this nugget is courtesy of CWP. It's not a good nugget. So when the Blues scored 2 minutes and 16 seconds into this game, I said to myself and to Twitter, I feel like the Coyotes are consistently getting scored on in the first 5 minutes of the game. So Charles, did some due diligence and found that the Coyotes have allowed a goal in the first 5 minutes of a period 10 times since the game on October 27th versus LA, and at least once in each of the games since then.
That's crazy.
So that's not good.
Nope.
And, it's one thing for them to stay in games or come back and win. But when you're starting at a deficit every single time, you're not setting yourself up for success and you're not setting yourself up to be in a place to hold on to leads, to even give yourself a chance to win a game. Like this just keeps happening again and again and again. And I was right to feel that way. And thank you, Charles, for doing the research and finding that out. But that's another huge issue that's affected this team. So it's not just finishing games and with the lack of effort finishing games, it's starting games on the wrong foot that's been an issue.
So they're basically just like a sandwich. They're not good. Never mind. I'm not even going to roll with that.
I was with it.
I'm going to stop.
I was with it, Craig.
I just can't. I'm not feeling it tonight after watching that game. That was a hard game to watch. It was a frustrating game to watch. It really was. And, I recognize that things could be worse. We could be covering the Sharks and Edmonton Oilers game right
I don't know.
now.
I think it'd be kind of fun.
Shout out to...
Don't you mean the Oil Sharks?
The Oil Sharks.
Yes. What chaos with the...
Look
Did you see who was winning that game, by the way?
Huh?
The Sharks took the early lead 1-0.
Yeah.
Wow.
A goal by Zetterlund. They're being outshot by the Oil 13-6, but have the 1-0 lead after one.
Does Jay Woodcroft survive a loss to the Sharks?
A game in San Jose losing, I think he's done.
Yeah.
I don't know how, like Jay Woodcroft, I've known Jay for a very, very long time. He's a very nice man. He doesn't survive this. I don't know. I can't imagine, but at some point, I know we're tangenting on Oilers, but you got to start looking at the general manager.
We got to have something to talk about, buddy. So it's fine.
Been the same problem for this team for a long time.
Yeah.
I hope the Coyotes find something because the offense wasn't there. Did you have any thoughts? Either of you have any thoughts on Coyote rookie Logan Cooley tonight?
I had some thoughts.
He collided with the ref.
Yeah,
that was not his fault, and that was an unfortunate break on the first goal. I will say I was not impressed. Impressed.
Bedard had 4 points tonight.
Yeah, there's that too, which doesn't help. Connor Bedard just rocketed to the lead, and if he wasn't already for the Calder race, but
yeah, I mean he's the guy now. And
Logan Cooley's not doing enough 5-on-5, Petey.
No, and I said this at the beginning of the season, and the first few games in, I said, watch out for this Cooley guy and Cooley Bedard. Here's the difference. I mean, well, one, they're both really high, talented, skilled players, but the Arizona Coyotes were on a 6-on-5 pulled goalie situation for 1 minute and 48. I don't know the exact time. It was, let's say, 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Logan Cooley's not on the ice. If the Chicago Blackhawks pull the goalie, do you think Connor Bedard's on the ice? Do you think the first power play is on the ice? The first face-off of every period he's on the ice? He's getting 19 to 22 minutes a game every game. Logan Cooley's sitting around 12 to 14. And I think for the long-term development of Logan Cooley, I think that's the right approach. I don't have a problem with that. And I think it's okay for him to sit on the bench with the goalie pulled right now 6-on-5. I don't think he's earned the right to be on the ice right now. I think the guys they had on the ice are the guys you can expect to score. You got Dursey, Michelli, 8, 9, 67. Those are the guys you expect to score. So, Cooley's got some learning to do. I want to see the bite that we saw at the University of Minnesota. I want to see that grit, that little fight back, the little chip on his shoulder. We've seen it once or twice. We need to see that on a consistent basis. And I think that's when he plays his best.
The FU mode, as Chris Peters calls it.
You know what I'm not seeing from him, though, that I expected to see a little more of? The puck handling in traffic. He's getting the puck knocked off his stick a lot. He's turning the puck over a lot. He's not navigating traffic well with the puck right now, and that was one of the things that we were told was a strength of his game. And maybe it is learning time and space in the NHL. Maybe that's what's happening before our eyes right now. But I have not been impressed with that aspect of his game.
Yeah, and we're 13 games in, and both these two guys are going to have a very, very long NHL career. So it's good. We're going to follow them through a lot of ups and downs. I think that we were so excited about Logan Cooley, and we saw what he did in the preseason, and we saw what he did in Australia, and you go, okay, this kid's going to be on fire, and we're just waiting for that one moment where he catches fire. We're just waiting, and there's been glimpses, but to your point, Craig, I don't know if it's the speed, the pace, the size. I think he's still finding his way here, and I think it came really easy for him in college. He played on bigger ice sheets a lot of the nights, which helps him with his speed game. But I think it's going to be there. And just like we saw with Crouse, who scored again, and you get those floodgates going, I'm hoping Cooley gets that light switch moment where it finally clicks for him. We saw it with Michelli. We saw that one night with Carcone. But you see those guys, once it starts, maybe they build the confidence. And I don't think Cooley's had that confidence moment yet. And I'm still hoping that we get to see that, and maybe even on this trip.
All right, we're gonna get into positivity zone for a few minutes because we've been in negativity zone, and we'll start it with this $5 super chat from our friend Altex, who was at the game tonight wearing the purple Cody shirt under his jersey. Who said, despite the L, had a great time. Got my Bugey jersey sign and a puck from Ingy. Kid sitting in front of me got a stick from Kells, etc. That's awesome, Altex. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for bringing your positivity to the show, and I hope you had a fun. Awesome. I hope you had a fun time. So, and I'm gonna continue with the positivity here and tell you about Desert Financial Credit Union because that's positive. Because right now, when you open a free checking account online, you can get $200 in bonuses. Who doesn't like that? You can get. Oh,
look at
Cinderella makes a return.
You can get started by visiting desertfinancial.com/$200. Check out Desert Financial. They have been Arizona's largest, most trusted local credit union and dedicated to creating exceptional experiences by giving back to the community. And you can get personalized ASU cards. You can get a personalized Cardinals card. So check out Desert Financial Credit Union, and we're really excited to have them as one of our new sponsors. Petey, I'm a little upset because you put a bet out there on Twitter today.
I know.
On BetMGM. And I said, you know what? I'm going to tail Petey on this one.
Yep.
And I did. And the bet lost.
I know. Did you see Jason Demers?
Yeah, he said
had a little similar bet. But
yeah, but his hit because Keller and Schmaltz had points.
Keller,
Schmaltz and times point parlay hit. Bummer.
So maybe
big bummer.
JD.
Big bummer, but it's okay because I only bet $3. My weenie bet. Weenie bets are back. I'm going to try and do them more this season. And if you were new to the BetMGM app and signed up with the bonus code PHNX, it would have been no sweat off your back to lose your money because right now, when you sign up with the bonus code PHNX and place your first BetMGM Sportsbook wager through the BetMGM Sportsbook mobile application of at least $10, you'll receive $200 instantly in additional winnings, regardless of your wager's outcome. You can check out the show notes for full details. And now listen to Shane talk about the disclaimer.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Colorado, D.C., Illinois, Indiana, Kansas, Louisiana, Maryland, Mississippi, New Jersey, Nevada, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia, Wyoming. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369 New York. Call 1-800-327-5050 Massachusetts. 21 plus to wager. Please gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP Arizona. 1-800-BETS-OFF Iowa. 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help Michigan. 1-800-981-0023 Puerto Rico in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. U.S. promotional offers not available in D.C., New York, or Ontario.
All right. Let's spend like a few minutes talking about the good things that happened in this game. I know there's not a lot, but there are some. And we already mentioned him. Lawson Crouse scores again tonight. Now his 5th of the season, which ties the team lead in goals, which is crazy. Craig calculated that he's on pace for 33 goals this season. And of course, who other to assist the goals than Keller and Schmaltz as they do in St. Louis. But because of all of that, Lawson Crouse is not that dog. He's not that dog. I thought he was, but he's not. But that's okay. Let's talk about Lawson Crouse for just a second. I actually thought Keller scored the goal because where Crouse scored from on the power play is exactly where Keller always scores, so much so that I said Keller goal because I had Keller anytime goal on BetMGM. And it wasn't. It was Keller to Crouse, which is funny. But
nice sauce, too.
Amazing
Great
sauce.
pass.
Great execution from Crouse. And I feel like besides just the goal tonight, Crouse had a few moments.
He did. Yeah, it's nice to see him coming on, especially with a tough start. And then he got sick. Really, for a full week, he was just knocked out by whatever it is he had. He still doesn't know what it was. But once he came back, again, as I said, whatever drugs he had got him going. He's got 5 goals tied with Clayton Keller for the team lead now. So good to see Lawson Crouse building on what he did last season and even the season before that.
And he had one shot attempt in that final 30-second push that they had, got on his stick, and I said, "This is it." I thought for sure that was going to be the storybook goal that pushed it into overtime, but it didn't go for him.
Bees is right, by the way. Crouser should have shot when he had the 2-on-1 with Michelli.
Oh my God,
and he was really trying to set up Michelli. It's almost like you looked at Crouse carrying the puck through the neutral zone, and you wish it had been the opposite with Michelli with the puck on his stick, setting up Lawson Crouse, because that's the way it goes. But that was a great opportunity. They had a few opportunities, but not enough, obviously, in this game to generate enough offense. Oh, but that was negative, wasn't it? Sorry.
It's okay.
Positivity, please.
Okay, let's be positive about Karel Vejmelka, who stood on his head. He had to have a lot of time with the play in the zone, obviously, with St. Louis on the power play so much. He faced a lot of shots tonight, 33, stopped 31 of them for a save percentage of 939, and he is our dog in him. I was just so used to naming the forwards the dog in him. But Karel Vejmelka, you have that desert dog in you. He deserves it tonight, and he really was one of the best players on the ice for the Coyotes tonight.
It's a nice, good look at his mask as well, isn't it?
It is.
Pretty sweet photo.
Yeah, that is sweet. So, Veggie, congrats. You get the dog, and he was great tonight. It's a lot of shots to face. He's good when he faces a lot of shots.
Do you get when you guys look at that mask there? Do you see any representation of Karel Vejmelka's cat on that? I don't see the cat anymore. Maybe it's on the other side.
Connor,
if
you're watching, just know.
Yeah, it's probably on the other side.
I think he got the paint job before the cat. Maybe that's his next one.
Yeah,
you've seen those aggressive cats. Maybe he has just like little playing with balls and on the little table things.
AZ Sports Guy says Veggie for McDavid when. I've been pushing this agenda for the last 3 days, but no one wants to listen.
I don't
Not
think
publicly, privately. Now it's
that
public.
one. But you know what? For Veggie too, the other thing is I think Leah said it. He's better when he gets more shots, and he was better tonight. I didn't get that sense of chaos that you get with him some nights, and I didn't feel that tonight. And for killing off those penalties, even when they're not shooting, and Craig can attest to this, the goaltender, that's a lot of work when you're killing penalties. Like
exhausting.
You're in position and you're moving, and your legs are getting burned, and it's hard for to be that in that position for that long during that kill. So. Yeah, he deserved the desert dog on him. But again, I'm assuming we're going to see Ingram on Saturday, just assuming against his own team. So we'll see.
I don't think he's changing things up. I really don't.
Yeah, I don't either.
And Ingram will be a little bit fired up for that game. He will.
I would think. I would think.
I hope that's a bounce back.
He needs to be. Yeah. He needs to be.
A couple other things. Jason Zucker made his return to the lineup tonight. Obviously missed a handful of games with a lower body injury. He took a penalty. That was kind of his contribution on the stats tonight. Did you have any thoughts on him? And it's okay if the thoughts are no thoughts. I
think he was okay tonight. I mean,
it takes a minute to get back into it.
It's hard to come out. He's been out significant amount of time since the home opener, so that's a lot of time to miss. So it'll take him just a little bit of time to get back in the groove, but I do think he's a really, really important guy to have in their lineup. He really helps Logan Cooley. I thought he was just starting to come on when he got hurt too, so hopefully he can get back up to speed soon and get Logan Cooley going as well, because they're going to need that. They're going to need both of those guys to contribute offensively. Not just Logan Cooley's 200-foot game, which is great, and he needs to do that. I agree with everybody saying, it's good to see him playing a 200-foot game. It is. You have to do that in the NHL, but Logan Cooley is here to produce offense, and we're not seeing enough of it at 5-on-5.
Yeah, and I think right when he and Zucker started to play well together is when Zucker took that injury. And Zucker played just over 11 minutes today, one shot on goal. Wasn't really a factor in this game tonight, but he's back in the lineup. And I think that you've got to play your first game back at some point, and now he's got that under his belt, and now maybe he can start building some momentum. He's a guy that works extremely hard, gets to the net well. I think he makes players around him better. He saw that. He did that in Pittsburgh as well. I think he's a necessary guy to play with Logan Cooley. I think they need that synergy between those two players to be successful, and then you can alternate that the right side wing in as the season progresses. But I really think that's going to help Cooley, and I would expect Cooley to take a step on this road trip, because I really think Zucker will continue to improve as he plays more.
Speaking of injuries and coming back from them, there was a little bit of a scare with Jack McBain tonight. Gets hit into the boards, kind of falls awkwardly down on the ice for a while, which is always, troubling when you see a hockey player do that, because they're normally pretty tough, especially as a guy like Jack McBain. Got up on his own, actually came back in the same period, came back in the third, skated around, looked a little uncomfortable. I guess him skating was a really good sign. Yeah,
Todd Walsh reported too that he had his equipment off for a little while in between periods and when the period started, so you wondered if he was going to come back, and then he played, and you could see him grimacing on the bench. I'm no doctor, but I'm going to play one on this show for the moment. To me, Jack McBain doesn't come back in that game if there's concern about a structural issue or a sprain. To me, it looked like he slammed into the boards, and as I think Tyson Nash or Matt McCollum mentioned, that it looked like his shin pad shifted as he did it. That looks like a contusion to me. So, Petey, as well as I do, a contusion is painful, but it can be treated. They're between the injections, the treatment, the massage guys. There's a lot of things you can do to break that up. I think in a couple of days, he's probably going to be okay if it's just a contusion.
First of all, I'm glad you used the word contusion prior to the show, so I had a chance to look it up.
What was the term you used?
I would have said bruise.
No, it's not what you said off air, though. No, you said owie. I said owie. You said owie. Yeah.
Boo-boo. Ouchie.
No, but the truth is, if it's structural, then you hold the guy out because you can't damage it any worse. If it's a bruise, you just deal with pain. And then, so there's a humongous difference. And first point I want to make is there is no athletic trainer in this league who's going to put a player out and put him in a bad situation where he can hurt himself worse. So having said that, seeing McBain back in action tells you you're right, Craig. It is probably a contusion. They'll get you'll break that up over the next few days.
Yep.
And as long as he can walk, or even if he can't walk and he can skate, I would anticipate he'll be.
This is hockey, not the NBA. He will play.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
And going further on injuries, the Coyotes reported that Travis Dermott is week to week. We all saw it, and I'll let all you doctors, out there speculate on what the injury is.
It's an owie, Craig.
Everybody's saying it's a broken hand, even though it hasn't been reported. We'll see if you're right. But at any rate, Travis Dermott is going to be out a while. I know some people are wondering, well, do they make a deal for a defenseman? They're not going to make a deal for a defenseman.
They did recall Kesselring. He didn't play
Michael Kesselring, who's a guy who I could see playing. They like his edge. Jason Demers obviously loves him after having been his teammate in Bakersfield. I could see him getting some time on this trip, maybe spelling Josh Brown at some point and giving him a look. I don't think they're going to make a move for a defenseman. And along those lines, I know that there was a rumor put out, I think it was Elliot Friedman that tweeted he wondered about Arizona with
32 thoughts
Noah Hannafin possibly being on the move, and people are speculating that Noah Hannafin could be headed to the Arizona Coyotes. I don't think so. No, I don't think the Coyotes have interest in bringing Noah Hannafin on at this point. So when you think about it, Bill Armstrong has been willing to move some assets to acquire players. Look, he got Sean Dursey, right? But the Coyotes aren't going to be giving up first-round picks, guys. They're not going to be giving up first-round picks. And I just don't sense any desire right now to bring Noah Hannafin aboard. We'll see what happens when he gets to free agency. I don't know. They have so many other pieces that they're developing. I don't know if any of those guys like Maverick Lamoureux will be ready. Yes, I saw he's in the chat. Hi, Shane. Hi, Shane. Should we just say hi to him right now?
Oh, that's not what we were smiling about.
Look that Jacob and I gave each other. It was
but anyway,
unspoken.
I think they're going to roll with the personnel that they have right now. They're content with some of the guys that they can recall from Tucson. So don't expect a move at this point for a defenseman.
Yeah, I don't see that fit here right now. If this is 3 years from now, they're making a run for it, and this is Simishev that goes down. Yeah, maybe, but I'm not a general manager, but I just don't see. You've got Kolyachonok, you've got Kesselring, you've got they've got Zuba that's getting ready. Zuba. I just don't see it. But I guess you never say never. Plus, the other thing that surprised me tonight with Dermott out of lineup, they played 12-6 tonight, which I know he likes 11-7, but he's played mostly 12-6 this year, and this is the first. I believe, Craig, we got CWP on this. I think this is the first 12-6 too many men on the ice penalties of this season. Usually those are an 11-7. And we'd say it was 11-7. They say no, it's not because 11-7.
I'm curious.
Too many men on the ice penalty.
I'm curious if we'll see, because I feel like Josh Brown's a guy that's been flopping in and out. I'm curious if on Saturday we'll see maybe Brown out and Kesselring in, just to switch it up. Brown had, I think, 2 penalties tonight, 2 of the 7. Penalties. So penalties. I'd love to see Andre yelling. By the way, he was livid on the bench after Sean Dursey's. That was a
tough call for the official, because the puck does come up, so it's hard to tell where if it come in, it might have hit his shin pad, which was on the wrong side of the blue line. I didn't think that was an egregious call. The Coyotes obviously were just in a dire situation at that point, trying to get the tying goal, and you don't want the puck to come out of the zone. But maybe Andre was just venting his frustration over the same game that we had to watch, with 7 power plays for the Blues through the first 2 periods and not a lot of offense.
And a bear couldn't go into the fridge and eat Friendsgiving leftovers during the game.
I did.
Yeah, and me.
Yeah. When is Friendsgiving?
When?
Yeah.
You missed it.
You missed it, Petey.
So did I, actually, but that's okay.
Sorry.
It was in Slack, Petey.
Yeah, but we know that Petey doesn't read these things.
I know it was today. I was going to almost send
it. Wasn't today. It was yesterday.
Oh, it was yesterday? No. And then I didn't read it.
You are aware that there is this software called Slack. Sorry, trying to adopt my Samuel Jackson voice here. Go ahead.
I'll just get written up. Don't tell Saul.
So, Petey,
Fiction, buddy.
next time you come
close.
Just swing by Circle K and pick up some snacks. Craig wants baked goods
to the next.
When are we getting baked goods, by the way, Max? I know you're watching. Where is my sleeve of donuts?
Just not working for the next.
Oh, that's right. Max is not working, as Owen pointed out on Twitter.
Chicago.
Although I think that reply was.
Evidence is deleted.
The evidence was deleted.
He's working remotely.
We saw it, though, Max. You can't deny it. So. Never mind.
Okay.
Where's my sleeve of donuts?
I want the salt and pepper
Circle
chips.
K snacks.
Those are my favorite. But regardless, when you stop by Circle K, go inside, grab some snacks, grab a Polar Pop, and make sure you're part of the Inner Circle so you can save 25 cents per gallon on your first 5 fill-ups when you join the Inner Circle. Now, every time you go to a Circle K, it'll say the first thing it asks you, are you in the inner circle? Enter your phone number, which is really cool. There's lots of ways to save, and it's completely free to join. All you have to do is download the Circle K app today. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit circlek.com for details. This was definitely one of those games that alcohol was needed as well to watch, and that's another thing that Bear couldn't do on the bench, but we could here with our fridge full of Four Peaks beer. You've been on the pumpkin porter train, haven't you?
Yeah, I've been steadily on that. I'm with Petey too, though. Wow is like a beer that I can drink anytime. So our refrigerator right now literally has 12 pumpkin porters and 12 wows still in it because I don't ever want to run out. I just don't ever want to run out.
So good.
Yeah.
So good. Four Peaks, amazing stuff. Check out.
Slab for Cooley? No.
Who said that?
All gas, no gas. If you were offered slap for Cooley, would you take it? No.
No, all gas.
Did you read my story when the Canadians were in town?
Anywho, all gas have a Four Peaks. Visit fourpeaks.com/locator to find all your favorite brewery tours and events. Check out at Four Peaks Brew or at Four Peaks Pub to keep up with the latest at Arizona's hometown brewery. Must be 21 or older to drink Four Peaks, and please drink responsibly. So, the Coyotes play again on Saturday. Let's look at the upcoming schedule. We already have talked about it a little, but it helped. I'm a visual person. Nashville Saturday, couple days off. Oh, probably off in Nashville. That could be interesting.
Oh, yeah, they're staying there too.
Yes, they are. They're gonna be there shortly, right? So they'll be there all of Friday night, Saturday. I think they're staying over Sunday too, and not flying to Dallas until Monday. So they're gonna have a nice weekend in
Nash Vegas. Dallas Tuesday. Oh, I talked about this the other day. Like you're in Tennessee, then you go to Texas, and then you go back. Then you go to Ohio, and then you go to Winnipeg.
Oh, that's all over the
Winnipeg.
Place. Are you going, Craig?
Yeah, Craig, why are you going on this road trip?
No.
You didn't want to go on this road trip?
No, I see. The thing is,
yeah. How did Craig miss this one? Oh, we're going to New York City for 5 days. Yeah, I think I'll go there.
Yep.
The Boston road trip.
New York.
So,
Boston,
by the way, USA play
really
Canada, and number 2 Denver's in town. So I will be at those games.
Craig.
So yeah,
okay.
but
we didn't
next
even
week,
talk about that.
next week, never mind.
Craig and I did go see the rivalry game, by the way.
Yep.
Just saying.
How was it?
30 seconds. It was really cool.
Yeah, it was
US
cool.
won, I heard.
Yeah, the US won 3-1.
3-1, and you know what? That was incredibly that bitter rivalry, and that's why they call it the rivalry series. It was absolutely there. It was chippy and tough.
It was
a couple
chippy.
Times I thought a fight was going to break out, and it was dirty hockey. It was actually really good.
Dirty hockey.
It was. Anyway, so I'm glad we went. Thanks everybody for helping us get in the doors there, and that was a lot of fun.
Did we get some stories too? Did we get some stories last night from like Ray Whitney and Mike Bond about the language on the bench in those games?
Ray Whitney and Mike Bond, who used to be the the strength and conditioning coach for the Coyotes. He is part of USA Olympics winter sports now. He was there. Ray Whitney was there. Cal Hulse was there. His daughters were watching the games. There was tons of diehards were there. It was a lot of fun. So, and shout out to all the diehards that made it. That was fun. We got our picture taken. Craig left. I don't remember why he didn't get his picture taken. It was not when you left. It was before you left. You had to go do something.
See my wife, who was at the game.
Oh yeah. Okay, well, you couldn't see her.
My entire family supports the USA. I don't
Literally,
know
though, you live with your wife. You probably could have waited 5 minutes.
She had finally texted me back to tell me where she was after avoiding me for half of the game.
Maybe she was. Yeah, I was just going to say she probably didn't want to see you.
Probably.
All right.
Glad we hashed that out.
Circling back around.
I won't have to nurse it in therapy this week. So thank you.
The Shark Bowl is tied.
Oh boy. All right.
Oh boy.
So Nashville this Saturday, I guess Coyotes actually have a better record than Nashville right now. The Predators are 4-6 in their last 10 and are on a 2-game losing streak. So
they lost tonight again to Winnipeg.
Yeah, so this could be one of those ones like the Coyotes really, really actually have to have a bounce back performance, but I think they can get a win, and I hope they get a win because, as you mentioned, if they don't going into Dallas, it's scary, and I don't want to get in a losing situation with the teams that you mentioned coming up on the calendar. You got to get a win in Nashville, and maybe you can have a fun night out on Broadway one of the nights.
Oh, that's the incentive.
Earn it.
There you go. Earn it.
Yep.
Hey,
Yep.
and you know how you drop that, and the coach, you pull one of the trainers aside, and you go, "Hey, just get it out there that I heard that if there's a win tonight, you guys might get the day off tomorrow." I don't know. I just heard that. You can't have a coach say that but you got to get the word started somewhere, and that's enough. Get that day off in Nashville, buddy. People are blocking shots to get that day off. Tootsies. Let's go.
Tootsies LFG.
You know.
If you know, you know, and I definitely know.
They probably won't get a boat tour, though. Just saying.
That's true.
That's true. Highlight of the draft.
Yep.
So freaking fun. They should, though. That was a lot. That was great.
Great.
Let's take a look at the punch card, see how things are trending.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a lot of red and green all together. It's very mixed, and as we mentioned, this is a very
Forget
500.
Thanksgiving. This is Christmas.
Yeah, this is it's Christmas. So
this is
as you mentioned earlier too, like they haven't lost more than 2 in a row, but they also haven't won more than 2 in a row. You got to string together a few wins here at some point. I don't know when, if you want to even have a chance of sniffing like being a playoff contender.
Mm-hmm.
It's just frustrating, and we're starting to see some things come together. Like they are holding on to leads, they are pushing games to overtime and such, but it just feels like you're not there yet. Like you just need to see that extra thing. It's not even a palpable thing, it's just a thing. You just need to see it, and I just haven't seen it yet. I feel like
consistency.
Yeah, that I guess that's the thing, isn't it? Just tough stuff. So
and it's hard. That doesn't come on. It's not a light switch. You can't just make it happen. And we all sat here and thought, oh, this is a better team on paper. It's better. It's a better team. And now you're going, it is better. But if they had the effort from last year combined with the players from this year, you'd think that this team would be excelling. And I just don't think we've seen that yet. We haven't seen the magic that we talked about, that this team works hard. Boy, they come at you quick, and boy, they're quick starts. I know at the mullet, their first 5 minutes, they're all over you. I just haven't seen it yet. And hopefully hopefully it clicks.
I really do think that line, that Cooley Zucker line, could be the key to all of this. If they can get going, then you could have 3 legitimate lines and you create problems for teams. So we'll see if they can find that chemistry at some point.
And that fourth line has to stay out of the penalty box. And if you want that fourth line to be a factor, and I think it is, I think it absolutely is. I think they've got speed, and I do think people look over their shoulder going, is Liam O'Brien coming? I really, really do. But they can't sit in the penalty box. Yep. McBain and O'Brien got to stay out of the penalty box. You can play tough, but you got to play on that edge.
Yep, for sure. I was just sitting here thinking about, though, like we're complaining. Do you know what we would have done to have a 500 team last year?
That first year
the year
in
before.
the basement Studio B in the old studio. Can you imagine 500? We'd have been out of our mind as they were 0-11. Oh boy.
Oh boy, is absolutely right. Another bummer tonight. Michelli's point streak ends. That one was going on for a while, 9 games. And I also just want to give Michelli a shout out. He played in his 100th career NHL game tonight. So off to a very good start for a young Matthias Michelli, and maybe not his best night ever tonight, but when he has the puck, he looks skilled. So I already was on my Michelli soapbox the other night. I don't need to get on it again, but congrats to Matthias Michelli, and hopefully things are better ahead after tonight. But as Craig mentioned, Denver's coming to town to face ASU this weekend. Again, we previewed that game with Greg Powers on our show yesterday on the PHNX Sports YouTube channel. So if you haven't checked that out, I highly recommend it. You can also listen wherever you get your podcasts while you're running errands or driving or cleaning or cooking or whatever it is you do when you listen to podcasts. I like to be doing something. Go to that game. Check it out.
One of those 2 games, Fridays, 7 o'clock, Saturdays, 5 o'clock. Denver's a really good team. Denver is a top 5 team in the country. This is a deep team. This is a skilled team. This is a team that has a Coyotes prospect playing for it in Mikko Matika, who will be featured tomorrow on GoPHNX.com. Had a conversation with him. This is a team worth watching. This is a team that could be raising the NCAA championship trophy again, just like they did in 2022. They are an excellent, excellent college hockey team, unlike Bemidji.
Wow. Throwing diggers.
Oh, by the way, Petey, Greg Powers threw shade at you on the show. He said, I guess college hockey is beneath Petey.
I know, I heard. Craig filled me in. I heard. I should have tried to find a way. I just didn't.
So my little fun fact of the day is that my mom was on the flight today from Denver with the Denver hockey team, and I said to her, make sure you tell them when they get to Tempe that they need to go to Illegal Pete's. Because I guess they have Illegal Pete's in Colorado, so that was a bad point. But then they know they have somewhere familiar to go. Illegal Pete's on Mill. It's our favorite place for sure. I can't get over how good Illegal Pete's is, frankly. And
Same.
They have an amazing offer right now, because if you have tickets to a game this season, you can head to Illegal Pete's before or after any ticketed event and score a house margarita or a draft beer for $0.01 with their Soundcheck promo. So sign me up if you're going to any of those games this weekend. Bring your ticket on your phone, because no one has physical tickets anymore, and get that penny marg or beer. I always talk about how underrated I think the margs are at Pete's. And while you're at it, get some chips and queso, get a bowl, get some tacos. So freaking good. Nachos. So freaking good.
There's so much good food there. It is such a great place to go before a game.
Tequila.
Tequila. Like, if you're not working, Jacob, you can have that
Mexican
tequila.
candy shots.
To all you fans
I
out
think I
there,
could even if I was working.
go have some tequila at
Craig,
Illegal Pete's.
You had a margarita in Tucson.
Hey, never happened. I don't know what you're talking about. Have some margaritas, maybe do a tequila shot, and then maybe go to the mullet. Maybe go to the mullet and bite someone's finger off. I don't know.
Don't do that.
No,
we do not condone biting
we don't
people's
condone
fingers
violence.
off.
What?
Oh my God. Instead, you should
He's sitting back.
have a margarita.
Look at that look. That's like a dad look.
Land the plane.
Go on your phone, go to shadyrays.com and buy some new sunglasses for yourself. Treat yourself. Shady Rays, they have amazing style, shades, different colors. Oh, Petey's rocking his Shady Rays. There you go. And check them out if you prefer to try on in person. You can go to the Shady Rays brick and mortar at Kierland. I was actually in Kierland the other night and I saw the store. It's like giant and beautiful, and I wanted to go inside, but it was closed because it was night. But I think I'm gonna have to swing by there and add some more Shady Rays to my collection. Right now, exclusively for our listeners, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the season. Go to shadyrays.com and use code PHNX for 50% off 2 or more pairs of polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 250,000 people. No.
It's really just a fingertip. So.
No. Enough. Does anyone
Don't give Jake Rennie
Nicholas? Oh my God! It's not even PHNX After Dark. It's not even 10 p.m. This was a 6 o'clock start.
This is getting good now. We might have to go another hour.
No, Jacob's like, please, I need to go to bed. Oh Lord! All right. Does anyone have anything else to add, or should we just get out of here?
We are talking about
you guys
eating
go as long
fingertips
as you
now.
want to
So
go.
I don't think you want that, Jacob.
Looks like
go as long
back
as you
on
want
the
to go.
menu.
Craig Petey's having his own show right now. If anybody wants to spin, it's like a
dropping
spin-off.
movie lines here.
Petey
See if
looks
you guys
like
can pick up
torts
on
with
them.
those shades. Greg said. Petey gets that a lot.
I do get the Torts brother a lot. I do.
Looks like Totri with that head of hair.
Wow.
Totri does every show in glasses.
Yeah, so does Flex.
I can only dream to be Totri. Why do they do that? I guess I could start and make it big.
These lights are bright.
I mean,
I have enough.
They are pretty bright.
Yeah,
but Craig's wearing a hat.
I'm wearing a hat to shade myself. Yeah.
This team's gonna have to be better on Saturday.
less.
They're gonna have to be better, and they're gonna have to be better from the start of the puck. Tonight wasn't good enough. This team hasn't shown 60 minutes. They haven't worked hard enough. They haven't been good enough to be where their coaching staff and management wants them to be. They need to be better Saturday. Okay, can I go now?
When these games start at 8:30, we're gonna be so screwed.
Yeah.
Oh, righty.
And I will say one more thing. That Leah, did you see Alltech's second super chat?
Oh my gosh! Let's pull up Alltech's super chat. Sorry, Alltech. He said, this one goes out to Petey. He's the reason I was able to get my Bugey jersey signed. Thank you so much. I'm going to try for a stick in Columbus next week. What happened, Petey?
Minnesota.
I just wanted to, because I might have talked to my friend Boogie. So I can't believe you skipped by it. I wanted to get.
I didn't want to give you the credit. That's why.
I flex. I wanted a little flex.
That's very nice. That's very nice. And a good way to end this.
I tried. The guy that I helped with the antenna, he's not even a diehard, Craig. I worked on that for 2 freaking days, that antenna.
You might need to come fix ours because it's having some issues.
You like how I use you as a reference now? I send everybody your way.
He did this at the game the other night, Leah. I said, "Oh yeah, this Petey will help."
We should
you.
make that a service available only to diehards.
We texted, yeah, we should.
What
He will come to your house and install your antenna.
The model that we had texted the pictures of his TV, the model number, how'd you installed it? Like we were texting, and ultimately I said, "You're
Petey, is Barry Smith a diehard?" If you know, you know.
I do know. I do know. You should become a diehard though, for real, because our Discord's always popping. You get 20% off shirts, you get 20% off events, you get access to diehard only content on the website. We're gonna have a new Petey's Puck Talk hopefully coming soon, and some more diehard exclusive content coming your way. So stick around, become a diehard. It's a sincerely a great time, and it really is one big family. So we do appreciate you all. Shelby said, "Stay on and cover the Sharks game." Should we just do
Tomas Hertl makes it 2-1.
Should we just do a Sharks Oilers watch along now? Jacob did say we can stay on as long as we want.
This is your Oscars music.
Oh, he's literally playing the violin. All right. Well, in that case,
and the Penguins are tied
all
with the Kings. Someone said the Kings weren't playing. They're tied 1-1 in the second.
Yeah, but Tomas Hertl has the Sharks up 2-1, and not looking good for Jacob.
And Jack Campbell at 3 goals in and 11 shots in the AHL.
Oops.
Uh-oh. Okay, I'm going to wrap up. Thanks so much, everyone. Hit the thumbs up. There's way more of you watching than we have likes right now, and we get little serotonin boosts every time we see the little thumbs up go. So we appreciate you for doing that. So do that, and if you're listening on audio, go ahead and hit the 5-star button on Apple and leave us a review. You can review us on Spotify as well. We appreciate that. You can follow us on Twitter at Leah Merrill, at Craig S. Morgan, at S. Peters Hockey, at Jacob_Franklin4, and you can follow the show on Twitter at PHNX_Coyotes. Our pace to 6,000 has really slowed. We need a push.
Yeah.
22 more to 6,000.
I don't care if you have to open alternate accounts. I don't care if you open bot accounts. I don't care. Get us to 6,000 followers. Come on.
Get us there. And Petey will wear sunglasses on a whole show.
Petey will come to your house and install a antenna.
I like it. Yeah, I will. Actually, maybe that's our new gig. If you become a diehard, I have to go to your house and hook up. I didn't notice though that if Edmonton loses, do you know if Edmonton loses, they're in last?
Yeah, but I'm going to start pushing a diehard membership. Do a diehard membership drive in Queen Creek for you. It's pretty close to your house, right?
Yeah,
or maybe Levine. Maybe I'll look at Levine.
Awesome. I know where Levine is. I don't know. You know what? I watch the local news and how many cities I don't know. Don't know where that is. Don't know.
Okay.
Yep. They do the news every day. Oh yeah, don't know where that is. Here's the weather here in this city, like 20 minutes from me. I don't know where it is. Don't know.
Here's the weather. Yeah.
All right.
Mikhail Vodka doing the weather.
All right. We'll be off tomorrow, but join us again Saturday for the post-game show after the Coyotes take on the Nashville Predators. Enjoy your night. Enjoy your Friday. And we will see everybody on Saturday.
We all silly like the mayor.